First up today, how to avoid a sleep divorce. If you're in a committed relationship with someone who snores, you probably know what we're talking about.
Yeah, because you're desperate for good night's sleep, okay? But the noise that keeps you awake, it's got to keep you thinking about sleeping in separate rooms, and that's not good for you. Dr. Madan Kandula is a sleep expert and sinus surgeon, and he is here to help you get the rest you need and get your partner back in bed together again. Good
Correct.
to see you.
You're all about keeping people together.
Yeah.
Trying to fix relationships.
Making marriages work.
Absolutely.
Romance officer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So you guys actually, before we get to the sleep divorce stuff, though, you do have a new location that you're looking at.
Which is exciting.
Yeah,
we
congrats.
just opened last week. We're in Illinois, so in Vernon Hills, which is a big deal. Like in medicine, I don't know people think about this much, but to go from Wisconsin to Illinois it's actually like a whole new setup down there. But we were getting so many people coming up from Chicago up to Milwaukee.
It's hard to get in sometimes.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a drag coming up this way sometimes. So going down there, we opened up last week. Every single appointment was booked solid.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So your offices are where now? Are there 4?
There's 6.
There's 6.
Yeah, we started this year with 3, and we've got 6. So we basically this year we opened Oak Creek, Pleasant Prairie, and now Vernon Hills. So we've been getting a lot of folks coming in, like Chicagoland, South Side, and so we're trying to come closer to them.
And then you're in Mequon.
And then Lake Country and
Tosa.
It's hard to keep track of that.
Yeah, right. That's a lot.
That's a lot for your reputation, though, that people are coming.
It's good. And we're trying to meet them, where they live because it's important.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
So sleep divorce, this is a real thing.
It is.
Somebody snores in your partnership and you want to get out of there because you need a good night's sleep. As Molly was talking about, you can't make it up as much as we think we can on the weekend, and it's important to our health.
Absolutely. And it sneaks up on you. Like if you get divorced, you usually know about it. If you get a sleep divorce, you may not realize it happened until all of a sudden every single night you guys are heading separate ways. And there's 2 spins on this. There's actually a positive spin on sleep divorce, which sounds weird, but there's sort of a movement that cherishes or acknowledges the impact of sleep and says, hey, sleep is really important, and it's so important that being separated can help you. But on the flip side, I'd say, well, that's great, and if you're doing that for a purpose, fine, but most people who end up in a sleep divorce because of snoring and potentially sleep apnea. That's not right or healthy. So if somebody's doing it out of necessity, which is the most common reason, that's what we're here to talk about and here to fix.
Well, I think there's a lot of, because we've heard people talk about it, resentment and anger that builds up. Because if you're the one not getting the sleep and somebody else is snoring, they seem like they're sleeping peacefully, just making all this noise. It can be really frustrating.
Absolutely.
And while it's not that person who snores' fault,
Nope.
A lot of people, there's a lot of anger that goes with that. And then on top of it, if you're tired and not sleeping well, you can see why it's a problem in relationships.
It's the perfect storm. It really is. I mean, and the person who's snoring is not sleeping properly. So if you're snoring, that's not the way you're meant to be. So if you're snoring, you've got a throat problem. There's a possibility that you might have more than just snoring. So everybody who has sleep apnea snores. Not everybody who snores has sleep apnea. But if you're a chronic snorer, that's something that goes up on your radar screen. So it's sort of nobody's getting a good night's sleep. Everybody's frustrated. Everybody's pointing fingers. And relationships are hard enough. Kind of a thing. This is the last thing, and oftentimes the last straw. And so the other thing, there's a reason people got into bed together to begin with. And so if this is creating a wedge in that relationship, that's not right, especially when there are things you can do about it.
What are some of the warning signs for the non-snorer to know that this is more than just a slight snore?
Yeah, I mean,
I think be a problem.
If somebody's snoring, one time in a blue moon, it's annoying.
When they're super exhausted.
Yeah, or they have a couple drinks, fine.
Okay.
But if it's a consistent, persistent problem that's like, nighttime's coming and it's going to be bad news, and if all those thoughts start going in your head coming into the night, there's a problem.
Gotcha.
If you're already in a divorce, which it happens very commonly, where it's not even acknowledged. It's sort of, like I said, every night, we're going separate ways. That's a problem too. If it's because of snoring, I would say.
The good news here, I think, is that you've talked to us before about some great in-office procedures that can be done that seem relatively simple but very effective in changing this.
It can be, yeah. I mean, for us, it's really identifying the issue, creating awareness, which is what we're doing today, but then letting people know there are options. There are options. There's simple things we could do. If somebody's snoring or has sleep apnea, they have a throat issue 100% 90% of the time. And so there are things we could do to help that area. Oftentimes they got nasal issues. So we can do really simple things procedurally if necessary to help things out. If somebody's just wondering, well, what's going on? I'm snoring, I'm not feeling great. To come in and to do a home sleep study, which is how we do it nowadays, is a nothing. You come in, we evaluate you, you can go home that same day with a device that tells us what's going on. And that sort of information gathering helps us to figure out, okay, what do we need to do? How can we address this? And bringing that person into the conversation. And it's great. It's great when somebody comes on their own, wonderful. A lot of times they've been nudged to come in to see us. A lot of times couples will come in and then you get the full story, and then seeing that story through to the end, which is getting that problem resolved, is great. I mean, it's not often in medicine that you get kind of that, sort of refreshing acknowledgement that, okay, this has made a big difference. So,
well, and I love it that there's so many solutions, so you don't have to live that way.
Nope.
So you can make an appointment. I know you can do online as well, but you've got your new location. So congratulations again, now open in Vernon Hills. But otherwise, Wauwatosa, Mequon, Lake Country, Pleasant Prairie, Oak Creek. AdventKnows.com is the website, and the phone number is 414-771-6780. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
People together.
I like
I like
trying
it.
to.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.